Hello, this is my digital artifact on internet safety. So with this artifact, I'm going to try to tackle the standard of DCT 1.1, which investigates the risk of the use of technology in a positive, safe, legal, and ethical way, which includes social interactions online and when using networking devices. So by the end of this lesson, I hope uh, to teach students to be able to identify different dangers lurking online on their own, and then I want them to be able to create conversation because this is going to be a heavily discussion-based lesson, and then I want them to be able to effectively protect their personal information online, um, as well as some of the learning objectives uh, given to you by the standard. So yeah, so like I said, this is going to be a heavily discussion-based lesson. So throughout the lesson, I'm planning to ask open-ended questions to be able to create conversation with the students. So just off the bat, I'll ask this question, what do you know about internet safety, just to get the ball going. And then I'll just, after some questions and some conversation, I'll move on and just kind of introduce some concrete information of like what is internet safety, giving them a concrete definition and explaining to them um, some things that they should look for online, and then again prompting them with another question, uh, what is safe behavior online, again creating that conversation between students. um, and after that is over, we'll go over what to avoid doing online and how to protect your personal information and what to avoid doing online, and going over some of these key points here, as well as some definitions that I've added on, which address the learning objectives given to you by the standards. So, for example, sexting is something students should be able to know about and how it's harmful to them, and then identifying what cyberbullying is and how it can be harmful to people. Just things like that. So this will be the bulk of the teacher or I talking about internet safety, and then after this, we'll go into like a deep discussion where we'll just break off into possibly small groups so students can discuss these questions on their own, and then after these questions are discussed, we'll bring it all back together to discuss as a larger class. Um, and these questions are kind of broad and they don't talk about everything. So when it comes back to this big discussion, I hope to, kind of prompt them to certain things to think about. So for the first question, it's what are things you do to be safe online? Um, Here, kids might not always reach the topics that I want to talk about, so I'll highlight key points. So I want to talk about password safety, and what to do with passwords and what not to do. So that's the way I reach the points that I want to reach, without having, just a huge PowerPoint of just me lecturing on and on. I just want it to be a nice flowing conversation of what to do and what not to do. And then just to wrap up the entire lesson, I made a Kahoot that you have linked as well. And then just to wrap it up, just a quick Kahoot with some questions about lesson. Um, so yeah, I now related to the four E's. How is my artifact going to be effective? So I think by creating that conversation, students are encouraged to think critically about what they do instead of just learning and having somebody like regurgitate information towards them. So having them think is gonna make them you know retain the information a little more. How efficient is this uh, artifact? I think it's pretty efficient in the sense that students will it's a short lesson, like it's not going to take too much time. With just me lecturing, in that sense, and it doesn't really require much. It's everything's going to be based online, and not many resources are required, so it's pretty easy to do. If you don't have very many resources available to you, how is this enhanced? So um, I think the Kahoot really enhances this in the sense that you can quickly assess your students on the knowledge that you've given them, and hopefully by creating that Kahoot, you hit key points that you want to hit. And how engaging is it? Again, Kahoot is just a really fun game for kids. I know I really enjoyed it when I was in school, so um, that's one way this is engaging. And again, just creating that discussion with the students just engages them and makes them want to think critically and talk to one another about the topic. So yeah, this is just my artifact. Thank you.